Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. At the time I record this, XRP is still looking pretty damn good. It's at 63.3 cents. We're waiting for the monthly close. It is 5:57 p.m. Central Time as I record this on Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. But I did want to put out a little bit of a warning here, and this is not to scare anybody, and I'm telling you straight up, I do not know what's going to happen here in terms of price action. I'm not even a chart analyst, right? I'm just a dude on the internet, but I just wanted to warn you that I am seeing from multiple chart analysts concern that this most recent XRP move is a fake out. So a couple things on that. The reason I want to highlight this, even if, and it may not come to pass, maybe we see that XRP continues to the upside. The reason I want to highlight this is to keep everybody informed of various opinions. It's worth knowing what various chart analysts think. And frankly, when it comes to investing, look, you're a human, I'm a human. We are our own worst enemies when it comes to investing. The emotions get the best of people all the time. So if you're aware of potential outcomes, even if it still hits you in the feels a little bit, maybe you can kind of collect your emotions, collect your thoughts, and make whatever decision is best for you based on logic, data, and reason, rather than just pure emotion. So it's worth highlighting this. Again, not to scare anybody. I don't know that XRP is going to go lower, but I will tell you this. Even if it does, it sure as hell won't impact me. I've been riding this roller coaster way too long for it to impact me. Like, it's not a chance. I've been holding XRP. It'll be 7 years this fall, right? I've never sold a single XRP. This will not be the moment I get shaken out while we're in a bull market. Also, I want to note, even if XRP does go lower, on a higher time frame, these analysts are saying if XRP goes lower, it doesn't change anything. In fact, one of my favorite analysts out there, he's like, yeah, actually, if it does go lower to a certain level, and I'll show you in the beginning part of this video, he's like, I'm going to buy it. He's like, I'll take that trade. I'll place that bet, right? So we'll see what happens here, but I'm still nothing but excited and optimistic. But just to be clear, nothing goes up in a straight line forever. Not Bitcoin, not ETH, not XRP, no coin. And it has, XRP, even to this point, showing incredible resilience, but there will be pullbacks along the way. Before going further, though, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So again, as I said, XRP 63.3 cents. Looking at the 24-hour chart here, got as low as 62.3 cents. So frankly, it looks, just against the dollar at least, in a vacuum, you're looking at it, they're like, hey, that looks pretty good. I mean, it wasn't long ago that XRP was at 38 cents, right? I get that. We're probably most of us are thinking that, right? We did have some negative price action today, though. Here's Bitcoin. It's at $64,908. Got as low as $64,508. But you can see this dip occurring this afternoon, and more on that in just a second. Crypto Fear and Green Index at 61 out of 100. It updates once every 24 hours, so it could be lower. It's at 61 out of 100, so we're still in green, but could be lower when this updates in a little less than an hour. Here's a post from chart analyst Mustache. Hashtag Bitcoin monthly close today, and the Bitcoin chart looks like this. That would be the 6th monthly close above the 2021 all-time high. Breakout to the upside soon, in my opinion. You're not bullish enough. And so I certainly hope that's correct. That's what I'm seeing from some of the most reputable analysts out there, including on-chain analysts. They think, from what I've seen just based on historical data, they seem to think, yeah, there's a really good chance that is indeed the case. And so the fact that Bitcoin went down today for a bit, which again I'll talk about in just a moment, that certainly impacted the price of XRP. It did still move in tandem. The whole market did. I mean, here, main screen live coin watch, look at this. This is the weekly chart, and so if you're looking on your phone or something, it might be hard to see, but look at the downtick for pretty much every coin under the sun. Ignore the stable coins, but including XRP, they all went down at exactly the same time, right? Pretty much every coin. Almost no coin was immune. So the correlation is obviously still there. That's not alarming. But it's a factor. There's, like it or not, and I frankly don't give a damn, like the asset class moves in tandem. There's this post from the Nijin Tropic account on X, and this is run by the co-founders of on-chain analytics firm Glassnode, and they wrote the following. Time of the brave. Not all indicators are fully bullish yet, marking this as the time for the brave. The price surged in the last 8 days, with our risk/reward indicator pointing to high reward. Despite a bearish reading and a correction to $66,000, below the key $67,000 support, momentum isn't fully regained. We expect the all-time high of $73,000 to be topped soon, but it may take more than a week to regain momentum. So my friends, if there is additional downward price action, it only makes sense that it's like XRP and the rest of the asset class would move to the downside. In fact, what's been uncommon in recent weeks is that XRP has not been engaging in very much negative price action, even at times when the market dipped. And so it's been exciting to note that, and I've highlighted that on this channel because it is rare. It's definitely not common. Love to see it, but it won't always be like that. It won't be the case that every time Bitcoin pulls back, XRP is now like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, sometimes it'll be like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. Absolutely. Of course it will. Here's a post from on-chain analytics firm Santiment, and this gets to why we saw a price dip today for Bitcoin, and of course XRP followed, although it wasn't disastrous in terms of XRP price against the dollar. But here's what they wrote. So we're talking about the Fed here. Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC. They say the FOMC decided to hold U.S. interest rates steady today, resulting in an initial drop to crypto prices. Traders had some hope that Jerome Powell may opt to cut rates this time, which would have been the first time this happened since March 15th, 2020. If and when a rate cut finally occurs, this would be a bullish signal for crypto traders and would theoretically lead to a higher potential for both stocks and crypto to thrive for the rest of 2024. As for how we can expect things to proceed now, after a bit of the emotional sell-offs calm down, expect for markets to flatten out barring another large event that could shake crypto. Aggressive whale accumulation and increased crowd negativity would be the ideal recipe for a big market-wide bounce. And so they're saying even if the market tanks to the downside, that sets up for further momentum to the upside, which is absolutely what they're expecting. Now, as far as what they wrote about the rate cuts, and I found that a bit interesting too, they said, again, it wrote, if and when a rate cut finally occurs, this would be a bullish signal for crypto traders and would theoretically lead to a higher potential for both stocks and crypto to thrive for the rest of 2024. Okay, and so we know the last few times that there were rate cuts, ultimately, we did see markets tank, but markets don't have to tank right when the news breaks. It could be well after that. We could have a crazy, alt season and, small cap stocks taking off for the remainder of 2024 if there's a rate cut, because the market, right or wrong, they view it as a positive. Like the market views it as a positive. And so if reality catches up and then there's economic impacts and people end up needing to sell at some point in the future and the market's saying, okay, but still that's different from how markets perceive it and how they would behave in the short term. That's all I'm saying right there. And also, it is not the case that every single time there is a rate cut from the Fed that markets do crater. It's not, that does not always happen. Yes, the last few times it absolutely has, undeniably. That's just fact. That's data. But not every single time. So we don't know for sure if that would be the case anyway. But even if we get the rate cuts, and so I assume that most of you are more knowledgeable about this than the typical person, of course. Almost no humans are aware of this simple data here. Like, if the rate cut comes, I mean, I think that's why the market perceives the way it is. Like, the typical speculator is woefully uninformed. And I'm not pretending to be a guru. I'm just a regular dude. But what I'm saying is there's a very low bar. Like the way people treat investment is it's like the bar is emotionally respond. Like it's a pretty low bar. Like that's how people behave here. And so just having some knowledge beyond that, you have like this incredible edge against the typical investor. It doesn't take a crazy amount. You don't have to be a guru. And that's why I still also think when it comes to investing, the best approach is just to buy stuff and then don't do anything. And that's what I do, and it freaking works. I've been doing this for almost 7 years, and my crypto is worth way more than what I put into it. It's the same approach I take to investing in the stock market. And once you know it, we have over 100 years worth of data that says if you take that approach, ultimately you win. You just let enough time pass. Because it doesn't make sense to bet against the United States economy for the long haul. It just doesn't. Here's a post, so we got to talk about XRP though. So there's this post. This one's to set the table here. This is from July 22nd. This is from chart analyst Credible Crypto. And he says, for now, we are still in a ranging environment. But if we get 50 cents or below again, which is the green zone for those of you looking at the screen, I'll be interested in a potential trade. And the green zone is, call it roughly about somewhere close to 38 cents up to about 50 cents, 49, 50 cents. That's the green zone. So he was saying if we get that, he's interested. Now, like I said, that's July 22nd. So the price of XRP at that moment, it was around 58 cents when he posted this. So he was thinking, yeah, it could go a little bit higher, but probably going to crater back on down. That's just what he sees in the charts before rocketing up tremendously. And so he does believe, he said this many times before, he does anticipate XRP is going to end up well over $10. And so that's big picture for the cycle. So even if we get a pullback, that doesn't change anything. I'm just trying to prepare you so that if it happens, and that's an if, when your feels get hit, you can just calm yourself and then make a decision about what's right for you, because I don't know what's best for you. I'm not making financials. I'm not telling you to buy or sell. You do what you want. I'm just encouraging you to think logically rather than letting emotions drive you when it comes to important financial decisions. That's what I'm getting at here. And this is something that you can't just say this once and it's fine. Like, this is a battle that humans have to continually fight when it comes to investing. It can't just be said once, oh, I have that data now, so I just won't feel the things when the price changes. No, that's not, we're human. It doesn't work like that. So just be aware. That's the reason that I harp on this in these types of moments, especially after XRP's run up so much. Like, it's not just going to go up forever. There's going to be corrections. And we're talking about just recently, it was at 38 cents. Yeah, and then hitting, how high did it get? 65.7 cents, I think, is what it hit last night. Well, it can't sustain that forever without a correction anyway, right? And so he reposted that post from July 22nd. He reposted that just last night, late last night, and he said the following: the idea below still stands. Nothing has changed. Note the pump today has taken us above the local highs, which I was expecting before a pullback to the green zone. Still interested in the green zone if we get it. And so there's Credible Crypto saying he's not 100% sure that we're going to get that, but he thinks there's a pretty reasonable chance that we actually will see something like that to get to the green zone, so XRP under 50 cents. He thinks that's highly plausible, in fact, and he would be cheering for that so that he can purchase lower. He would be interested in that, and it doesn't change his view that XRP still ultimately hits a new all-time high this market cycle, interest price discovery, and melts faces. None of that changes. He's just talking in the short term and what he would view as an opportunity. That's it. And so he said last night he still thinks that's probable to happen. And so I responded to him, and I was like, because I was just kind of thinking, about the utter devastation people will feel if this occurs, which is the reason I'm making this video ultimately. Like, it's a big part of the reason. I mean, I'm covering multiple things, but that's the thrust of the message here in this video, right? And so I was kind of chuckling to myself when I read that last night, and I wrote to him and I said, if XRP goes back to 48 cents, I think a lot of people are going to have a panic attack. And then I put a little laughy emoji there. And Credible Crypto wrote back to me and he said, if they are XRP holders, then it certainly would not be their first. Laughy emoji. Certainly would not. That's most of what we've seen in recent years, right? A lot of getting beat up. It just destroys investors emotionally. But, you know, if we get that move in and of itself will not be an indication of anything. Not in and of itself. It doesn't mean XRP is going to zero. It doesn't mean it's hitting a new all-time high. It's just speculation within a market. That's it. It really is that simple. There's this post from Charting Guy. I got two posts from him. So this one was from this morning, 10:33 a.m. Central. And he wrote, all of these made higher highs, by the way. And what is he talking about? He's talking about XRP priced against the dollar. He's talking about XRP priced against Bitcoin. And he's talking about XRP dominance in the market, which is what you want to see. And so that's all good. But he had a little bit of an update, and so you can see the triangle formation that he's citing here. Hey, we popped up above it, right? For those of you looking at the screen, you can see what I'm talking about. We had a little bit of an update here. This is more recent. This is at 4:02 p.m., so just over 2 hours ago. And he said, XRP coming back down into triangle. So far, the breakout, even though it was a higher high, it seems to be a fake out. Chart later after monthly close. So he does want to see more data, but at the time he posted this, less than 2 hours ago, he's like, uh-oh, guys. Looks like this could be a fake out. So if that's indeed the case, no more continuation to the upside, perhaps even a move to the downside if other chart analysts are correct. Which, again, is why I'm highlighting this. We don't know if this is going to happen. I don't pretend to know if this is going to happen, but it's reasonable to suppose that it is probable. Yeah, sure. Sure, I can buy that. Either way, XRP has just been tremendously performing. Like, XRP is not dead. Can we at least agree on that? Like, it wouldn't be doing what it's doing if it were some sort of dead coin. Here's Crypto Insight UK, also in part issuing a warning here. And this is from this afternoon, just a few hours ago, 3:29 p.m. Central Time, which is my time zone. I like how XRP seems to be holding strong-ish, even though Bitcoin is creeping slightly lower. If Bitcoin does have a leverage flush, however, I presume XRP would follow. If this happens, I'd be watching how XRP recovered. 3 hours to monthly close. Yeah, so, like I said, I understand, especially in recent days, XRP has been really showing incredible resilience. Resilience that you don't expect to see from XRP, where it's been moving sideways or up while the rest of the market has been moving down. We've actually seen that. Will it always do that? Absolutely not. Is this a moment where it's going to stop going up if the market's going down? I don't know. I'm just saying that I do know it won't behave like that exclusively for the rest of time. Like, that's not the case. That's not a thing. Here's a post, though, from Dr. Magic. And he said, kind of similar here. Well, he said a couple things. So he said, XRP most heavy resistance. So indicating, that's where we are. XRP most heavy resistance. Get above that, and we go for all-time highs. Note that even though higher time frame XRP is primed, on lower time frame, this resistance could cause a lower time frame rejection. Wouldn't jump into leverage longs here. So there's another analyst warning something very similar. If we're going to see a rejection here, which could happen, just at least know it doesn't change anything big picture on the higher time frame. He's saying, ultimately, yes, XRP still ultimately new all-time high, all that jazz. It doesn't change anything. But so there's 3 examples of analysts warning in the short term, hey guys, might see a dip here. Just buckle up just in case. And who knows, maybe we're lucky and that just like rockets on out of here and this scenario doesn't play out. Because when it comes to charting, I'm not a chartist, and I don't want to be, but I know that it is certainly about coming to conclusions about what's most probable, but not certain. There's this post from Bob Ye indicate, and you can see like the higher time frame stuff, like it's not changing regardless. He posted this afternoon, 2:39 p.m. Talking about XRP, he says, it's always been $8 to $13. $5 will be a battleground level. This has always been the target since I started covering this asset. Many have capitulated, wavered, exited the scene, and consistently flip-flopped over time. I have done none of that, and have been one of a small handful who has not. We are not the same. Hashtag XRP. And so the conviction is still clearly there, and I broadly agree with that. And this is why I freaking love crypto so much. It's just you set it and forget it, you set it and forget it. That's what investing should be. That's the right way to play it, in my opinion. Because the vast majority of traders, data shows, they do lose money. Something like 90 to 95% of them end up losing money. And then you might wonder, well, the 5 to 10% that don't lose money, are they making much? Well, almost none of them. Like, it's not for the typical person, This is not a skill set that the typical person has or could even, reasonably learn or get good at. And there are a lot of reasons for that. That's outside of the scope of this video, but that's why I keep saying investing for the long haul is what makes sense. And so my conviction hasn't changed. I certainly haven't wavered. And if I'm wrong, and I could be, and I lose everything. But that's what I recognized, and that's what I told myself, because I know it's true, when I jumped into crypto in 2017. I was like, yeah, well, highly risky, could be wrong about everything, maybe lose everything. Now, I don't believe that's remotely probable. And so that's why when it comes to XRP specifically, all this noise in the meantime, I'd argue even for almost the whole time I've been in XRP, it'll be proven to not matter. Like, consolidation can and does last many years for assets. That's actually a thing that happens. You can have chart formations that play out over a span of decades. So the fact that XRP's been doing what it's been doing, this consolidation range for 6.5 years, that in and of itself doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean it's going to zero. It doesn't mean it's hitting a new all-time high. I have separate reasons as to why I believe XRP is going to hit a new all-time high, eventually, if you let enough time pass. So, again, not to scare anybody. I hope it's more of an uplifting, positive message. That's certainly how it's intended to be perceived here. I'm very optimistic. I'm not wavering at all. I'm just talking about in the short term, hey, I'm seeing some warnings from some analysts. Doesn't change big picture, though. I haven't seen that from any of them. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Mambo.